here at Ford and at the auto show, and hopefully you're enjoying it, and hopefully you get a chance to see how we're really changing and transforming from an auto company to an auto and a mobility company. And it's a really exciting time in the industry for us because the enabling technologies that are out there, changing consumer behaviors, and at Ford, we want to be a leader in a lot of these areas. And you know, we're 113 years old this year, so you know that's a great history. But at the same time, sometimes you can not be open to changes. But I have to tell you, as a company, we continue to ask three really important questions, or three things always go through our minds. How are we challenging custom? How are we not taking anything for granted? And how are we overall asking why instead of why not? So enjoy. You know, if you're in the market for a car, right? It's a great place to see a vehicle, and of course a Ford. But just enjoy the event, and our folks here are here to help you in any way we can. So thanks a lot. So any questions or?
What inspired Ford Pass?
That's a great question. What inspired Ford Pass? So we want to make sure our customer relationships and experiences are as strong as our products. And as we go forward, we know that the most successful companies going forward are going to be ones that create true, authentic relationships with customers and actually improve their products or their services over time. So what inspired us is to help revolutionize. We studied a lot of different companies. We studied Nike, we studied Nespresso, which is a coffee company out of Europe. We studied IKEA, right? For those who've been to IKEA, you know, it's kind of an adventure and you keep going back, and for those Swedish meatballs, amongst other things. But what we're really trying to do with Ford Pass, if you think about what Apple had, they had this great iPod, right? Which was a really cool, you know, piece of hardware that played music. But what really revolutionized the whole customer experience was iTunes and creating that kind of ecosystem and that experience. That's what we're trying to do with Ford Pass, and that's why it's both a digital platform but also a physical platform, you know, with these hubs and guides that we talk about.
Thank you.
Yesterday we were talking about how you guys you have partnerships or collaborations with companies that you would maybe consider a competitor. Can you share any insights or any projects that you guys are working on?
Well, we have a lot of different projects. Actually, we announced last week at CES work that we're doing with Amazon with their Echo product, which is really the Alexa cloud-based assistant. We're doing some things with a drone maker, DJI, which is they're the leading maker of professional drones. And I'm working with a lot of different companies. Like we talked about, we're adding Apple CarPlay to our vehicles. Who knows what Apple is doing about a car? They haven't said much. But our approach, and one of the things that we've learned setting up a very big research and innovation center in Silicon Valley, is in some cases you can work with a partner and cooperate in one part of the business, and in another part you can compete. And it's really kind of exhilarating for us as a company.
How are you? Question regarding the press yesterday about these programs that you're trying to implement, and how would better the chances for millennials to lease cars among friends or among a group. Can you expand a little bit on that?
This is a great question about the shared leasing pilot that we're running right now in Austin, Texas. And really, this is part of our transformation from an auto company to a mobility company, because traditionally, without challenging customer, questioning tradition, you'd say, well, why would we ever want to do that? Because we just want to sell them. Let's sell them each individually a car. But we're looking at the changing behaviors, right? And particularly millennials, they want access versus ownership. But in this case, we said, gee, why couldn't we have a shared lease? Why couldn't we have, let's say you're in a household and you have 3 or 4 drivers. Well, and maybe you happen to be living together as a bunch of young people and sharing a place. Hey, all of a sudden, it becomes a lot more affordable, and you have the freedom of having a car available when you want it. Think about you're in a neighborhood, right? And sometime during the month you want a pickup truck because you need to haul something or you need to help a friend move or whatever. All of a sudden, we now have a solution for, let's say, 3 or 6 people in a neighborhood that want to share, let's say, an F-Series pickup. So this is really around understanding people and how they're living their lives and how they define mobility. And how do we, as Ford, become part of that solution for them, which may be just beyond what we've traditionally done.